All right, I'm going to show you how my ISAs, how I've trained ISAs before, how to do things. So this actually shows some real stats when it comes to online leads or any sort of lead follow-up plan that you have to do. It's called the Secrets of Lead Follow-up. Let me see, I can zoom in on it a little bit, get a little closer for you. All right. So, will you call in time? Will you call in time? So we pay for these leads in Idaho that are Dave Ramsey leads. I love them. They're typically Christian people that usually love the Lord. They follow Dave Ramsey. It's no longer, you can't say Dave's name anymore because they're trying to like make it more like Ramsey Solutions. But these people are, they're typically people that they still like, even though, they're, typically good, morally ethical people that are trying to do the right thing in the world, they still make mistakes. In other words, sometimes they can still be really mean and rude. So I like to do it in a way where I get to know them in a really fun way and talk a little bit about the fact that, yeah, I've gone through the baby steps. I can't say I've done it perfect where I said I'm doing the baby steps and I'm starting the baby steps of the Dave Ramsey. If you know what it is, look it up. Dave Ramsey baby steps. I'm jumping into the baby steps and I've done step one, two, three, four. No, I haven't done that. I did them sloppy. I just happened to look in there because I wanted to, be debt free and live a debt free life. So I started going in there and I started, trying to do it, but I wasn't following Dave's plan. And then all of a sudden I started looking at Dave's plan and I'm like, man, I've actually gone through a lot of these steps. I'm probably in step 6 of 7 right now, which I think step 7 is pay off your house. And I don't own my house outright. Um, our office in Tulare, though, that was a big fun thing to pay that off. We paid that off about 3 years ago, and so we don't owe anything on that anymore. That's fun. But our my house, I have a payment on, and so that's been fun to look and say, wow, if I could pay off that house and do the Dave Ramsey thing, where now I'm still paying my mortgage payment, but now I pay it to myself into my savings account. Eventually, that savings account will have $200,000 in it after 10 years. If I keep paying that same or more, could depending on how much I'm paying per month, just like as if I'm still paying it. But that's a big deal for me. I want to do that someday. So I've got to do that. So I love it. But even those leads require speed to lead. Typically, they're sending them to about 3 or 4 different Ramsey Solutions realtors that are what we're called ELPs, endorsed local providers, where we had to go through an extensive 30-something unit training in order to be a Dave Ramsey agent. It was a lot. And once I got it and got through it and passed, now I have to do a coaching call with them every month. I've got to get in there and I do a coaching call with the Dave Ramsey coach. It's all part of it. And it costs me money every month. And they kick me a few leads every month. But they require speed to lead. They require me calling in time. Most internet leads go cold in about 5 minutes. Why is that? Because they're on their phone right now, they're playing around, and then the kids start crying and throwing food. And so then they got to run over and hit, or the kid's trying to jump out of the high chair or something like that. And so they got to run over and help the kid get out of the high chair so they don't fall and get hurt. And so now they're not, now their phone's sitting on the counter now. And then when they pick the phone back up, all of a sudden someone's calling them and they're like, oh, who's this? They're not on it anymore. So it's not as hot after 5 minutes. Look at how it jumps. 5 minutes, 100 times decrease in contacts after 30 minutes. 100 times. That's a lot of times. 21 times decrease in qualification after 30 minutes. That's the green. So you got the blue and the green. Contact leads, qualification leads. So you're more likely if you call them in the first 5 minutes. That's why we have an ISA. We call him Client Concierge. His name is Hugo. That's why we have him because us agents, I've just found it. Agents fail on the speed to lead, and it shouldn't be. It's your job. You got to call people quick and check in with them and see what you can do to help. And so he's fast to call them for us, and he gets a lot of people on and kicks a lot of leads over. Um, so these are the steps. The lead comes in, you call them. You wait for a response, try again. Call them, wait for a response, try again. Average response time, 44 hours. That's the average response time is 44 hours. 78% of sales go to the first responder. That's the first person that calls them, also known, and first responders are also police officers and firefighters. But 78% of sales, 78, that's almost 80% of the leads go to the first person that called. Not the leads work with the person that calls them first. 78%. That's crazy. Don't let some other lead generator beat you out. Didn't answer. Okay, so it's typically right here. 1.29 is the average number of attempts to make follow-ups. 1.29. So a little over one phone call is the average attempts that an agent will do, and then they won't do it again. The difference between an agent that is in production and doing well and doing good all falls right here in this category, because most realtors call once and don't call again. We give a lot of leads out to agents. And if I don't see that, I've told this to Hugo, if I don't see multiple attempts in the system, you're not allowed to give them leads anymore. I told him that last week. So if you're on this call and you're on our team, just know I told him that last week. They need to be on the platform every day calling the leads you gave them. So he is working on putting them, all the leads will be going through Bold Trail in California, Sync in Idaho. In California, Bold Trail. So that's why I said it was mandatory for you, if you're taking leads, to be on the call I did 2 weeks ago. It's because I wanted to get you guys all up to date in Bold Trail, understanding how to navigate through it. And if Hugo does not see that you've attempted at least 9 times before, in the first 10 days, at least 9, because it's 10 calls in 10 days, 10 days of pain, they call it, or text messages or emails, and you put notes in there, then pull the lead away, give it to someone else. You call them again, Hugo, give them to somebody else, and they do not get leads until they can say that they're going to do it. Because one is, I can do it. I've done it. And I used to convert a lot of online leads, but I knew the importance of speed to lead. So I was always very, very fast. As soon as I got it, I called it immediately. I text them immediately. If I was in an appointment, I'd text them. That's what it takes. And most realtors are right here in this category. They quit. One call and that's it. Maybe shoot a text message. 2 days later, they're doing something else. They forget and they don't call them anymore. Bad deal. That's not what it takes. They're busy, guys. They've got family. They get, like I said, they're trying to help the kid to not fall on the kid's head in the high chair. You live life, you get busy, people call you. They're expecting you're going to call them back. And because they get busy. Don't take it as they don't want to talk to you. Take it as they just got busy. My old ISA, and Hugo will tell you the same thing. My old ISA, Reese Knotts, he would say, it's so funny, Sean, that it's number 9. It's the lucky number. I would call, and on the 9th call in under 10 days, they would answer. And they weren't even mad that I called multiple times. He said, it's funny that most of them apologize and say, I'm so sorry. I know you called me several times. I'm so sorry. No, and they'll either say, no, I'm not looking to buy right now. I was just window shopping, or I was just looking around. Great, that's what the website's for. Enjoy it. And what particularly were you looking? What are you looking for? Are you looking for, you moving from another area? Do you currently live in the area? Go back to those scripts. But that was Reese. He was like, it's so funny. It's always number 9. Because this is the point at which you begin to see diminishing returns right here. Diminishing returns. Average number of calls before customer is ready to move forward. It's typically between 6 to 8. So it takes that nurture. It does. It's a big thing. Some of the things that we used to track with ISAs is we would track appointment set, appointment met, their monthly stats of phone calls they make. Here's another good one I'll show you. This one's kind of goes along with that same thing. Last one I show you, I promise you. A lot of you have seen this before. Some of you may not. 50% of salespeople give up after the very first call. 65% of salespeople give up after call 2. Almost 80% are done after 3. and this might not be calls, it says contacts. So it could be I attempted to text them. I never even called. Some people never even call a lead. They just send them a text. I can't believe that. That's so crazy. We're not, we got to be a generation that picks up the phone. That's part of what you do as a realtor. 89% of salespeople have given up. 89%. You're harvesting low-hanging fruit at this point. You know what low-hanging fruit is? It means if you call 4 times, it's like getting a friend calling you saying, I want you to sell my house. That's a low-hanging fruit. A friend that calls you that says, hey, I heard you're a realtor. Will you sell my house? How often does that happen? Well, all you got to do is call them 4 times, and that's about the time they start becoming low-hanging fruit. Why? Because everyone else gave up, and you're the only one that continued to call them. Just now, you're becoming a factor in your prospect's mind. That's about 5. Nurturing slowly, your prospects get to know you. That's number 6. Just think about it. If you call them 6 times, leave a voicemail all 6 times, say, "Hey, it's Sean Cardoza. You know, I know you're kind of playing around on on that website. What's it called? Idaho Home Search. It's a good one. It's ours. We enjoy it. Or the other one is Cardoza Real Estate Group website in California, or legacyre.org in California is another search tool. I know you've been kind of looking in there and playing around a little bit. Just curious if you're just kicking the tires or if you guys are thinking about making a move pretty soon, and maybe I can answer some questions for you. Give me a call back. And then call number 6, they call you and say, hey, Sean. And you're like, they know my name. Oh my gosh, they actually know my name. How do they know my name? Oh, wait, I called them 6 times. It's what happens. They get to know you after 6. You are earning top of mind awareness. Guys, that's where it's at. Top of mind awareness with all the people we know. That's our SOI, top of mind awareness. That's leads we meet. That's people at church. That's people at the supermarket you run into that are in your neighborhood. That's going on walks around your neighborhood to get to know them. That maybe they become your top Uber driver, Paul. Maybe you're their top Uber driver, and they get to know you. They always they now have your card, and they call you instead of going through Uber, and it actually saves money. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's they get to know you. Top of mind awareness. They know you by name. They remember you by name. Our whole goal in this whole thing is to make everybody we know our friend. Top of mind awareness. Okay, number 8, you're probably the only person to make 8 contacts with this person. Yeah, that's how you get to sell houses. At this point, when your prospect is ready to buy, you have a 90% chance of being called back. Now they're calling you, even though, and you're like, wow, this is a reactive call? Yeah, a reactive call, guys. That's about 9 times. Reactive call. And then number 10, 11, and 12, because they say it's 10 days of pain. So 10, 11, and 12. So now you have 12 times that you can call them. And you still can't call them dead because the lead is never dead. You just put them in a long-term nurture. Remember A, B, C, and D? You change it over to a D buyer now. And you call them once every 2 months or once a month, like we had talked about. And you just keep nurturing people and checking in with them, and eventually they become first in mind. What if 2 years goes by and you never ever actually call you back? Do you still call them? Yeah, because eventually they will. Or because you're top of mind, they might refer you. Oh, what about that one guy that, he calls me all the time, but I haven't actually talked to him on the phone yet. My sister's looking to buy. Maybe, hey, call this guy. His name's Sean. He's a go-getter. He calls me all the time, and I didn't call them back though. Do you know that happens? Does.